The first question is, does a CTTA have a detailed definition of the customized low energy computing concept? And the answer is, it is one of the horizon topics. So I'm going to pass the link in the chat so that you can follow this link, and you can see on the European Commission website how the customized low energy computing is defined, and this is what we are also using in our calls. So you can follow this link, and you can later scroll the chat if you don't have it right now. I think it's the quickest answer we can give you at this moment. Three questions which refer to the probably the same thing. Can the consortia be formed by participants from 3 countries? Is Switzerland eligible country as a partner or project lead? And can productization partner come from Northern Europe? So the answer to all three questions comes in the same sentence. Yes, the call states, this particular call, CTTE, says 3 partners from at least 2 countries. This means 2 or 3 countries. So yes, you can have 3 partners from 3 countries or 3 partners from 2 countries, which is okay. Switzerland is definitely eligible. All the countries associated with the Horizon are eligible to participate and to apply. And Switzerland only had one short period prior to January 2017, which was partially associated. But now it's fully associated. So Switzerland and Northern European countries are there. Norway, Iceland, so non-EU countries are also associated, and they are listed as of January 2017 and still in the list, so they can apply. And everything that applies to other countries is the same for them. And I think most of the other questions come for Linda. The first question for Linda, I think, is only 2 questions, actually very similar. Is only transfer from academia to company possible, or can this also be SME to SME? And a similar question says, does a transfer partner have to be academia? Please, Linda.
No. So it can be SME to SME. It can be academia to SME. And you'll find the table that I presented in the PowerPoint is also in the guide for applicants.
Okay, I think that's clear. Can you please give more information on how do you define slightly bigger company? Page 6 of 27 in guide of applicants.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one? I didn't hear you.
Can you give more information on how a slightly bigger company is defined? So not an SME, but slightly bigger company.
So again, in the guide for applicants, there's a link to the European definition of SME and slightly bigger company. So if you click on that, it'll give you details. It's less than 500. Sorry, Antonio. Go ahead.
Lina, this is Antonio Montalvo, also from Funding Box. In the guide for applicants, yes, it is. There is a link to the recommendation 2003/361 from the European Commission. There you can find the concrete definition of the SME, not really on the slightly bigger companies, but we are saying in the guide for applicants that we are going to consider for this core, the slightly bigger companies as organizations with a staff headcount below 500 employees and a turnover below 100 million euros during the last 3 years. I think there was one slide presented by Linda that was stating that. So it's 500 employees maximum and 100 million euros of turnover maximum.
Yes, I think that answers that. Yeah, there was this slide, but it was very quickly went through over that. Could you please elaborate on the phrase that says that the proposal has to extend the value chain? Can you elaborate on that?
So to extend the value, the value chain is to increase the number of users that the product is going to be used by. So that can either be a company that's a distributor, a marketeer, something that a company that would help get the product out into the market and grow in the market.
If I can add something else, What we pretend in this value chain call, which is the CTTE, is on the one hand, we have a technology provider, an academia or an industrial partner that has developed a technology or has developed or has the knowledge of a certain novel technology. Then this technology is transferred to the technology receiver, who is has to be an industrial partner, an SME, or a slightly bigger company. So a company that will make a profit, a business out of this new technology that is given to him or to her. So this technology receiver is going to be the early adopter of this novel technology. Okay, but we need another partner who is the productization partner who will help this early adopter to scale up the product. Okay, this let's imagine that the technology receiver is from, I don't know, from Montenegro, and their market is in Montenegro, and they are going to use the new product in this market, but we are asking them to scale up, to show us how this product can be scaled up in a wider market. So that's why we need another partner who is going to provide this potentiality of increasing the market. It can be a partner from, I don't know, from Serbia or from Italy or from another country that is going to use this new product in this market. So in the end, we need to have these three types of partners in the consortium.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Linda. Again, quick question back to Nikos. I think this is a very interesting question. I'm going to let Nikos answer it. Is there any conflict of interest if a proposal partner is already a member of the SMART4ALL project? The person who asked the question is a large academic institution, and for them it makes sense for them to be in the both roles. Please, Nikos.
Yes, the answer is yes, there is a conflict of interest, which we cannot accept this kind of participation. I fully understand that, for example, when we have a big university that has many departments, many laboratories, etc., that and one of them is participating, for example, at SMART4ALL as a partner, but another department of the same university that is not directly related to SMART4ALL would like to apply. Unfortunately, this cannot be done because all the institutes are participating through the same peak number, and this is at European Commission, at the European Commission's rules, means that we are talking about the same institute. So this is, I have to admit, this is an inefficiency we have identified. This is something we are currently discussing with European Commission. However, we don't have something different that defines that there is no conflict of interest. So, so far, I would say that there is a conflict of interest. Okay. I hope that in the next calls we will manage to solve it one way or another, but it's not up to us. It's up to the European Commission and the rules it applies.
Okay, thank you, Nikos. We have a lot of incoming questions. We may not answer them all in this session, but please keep asking questions in the chat and we will get to all of them. If not right now, then at the end, very end of the presentation, we have another question and answer session. Now we continue. I think this is another question for Funding Box, and it's a group of questions regarding the role of the partners. The questions are, can the Productizer productize the product so that the technology receiver uses it in the market? This is the first question. The second question, as I understand, there are two types of SMEs, industrial and technology provider. Is that right? And a similar question, can an SME who is technology service provider be an industrial partner? Can you please elaborate that from the Funding Box?
Okay, so the first question about whether an industrial partner can be an SME, is that right?
The first question was, can the productizer produce something that the technology receiver can then use it in the market? That was the first question. Assuming both are SMEs.
I would say yes. Antonio, would you agree with that?
Uh,
I think that's the whole point. Yeah, right, Antonio?
Yeah. Can the productizer productize the product so that the technology receiver is it? Well, the sentence is not, but yeah, of course, the productizer is there to productize the product.
I think it's not necessary to have the product on the market during the
No.
experiment phase, but if you can do it and it's the final goal, I think it's really what is this all
in
about.
9 months, we are pretending to do an experiment. We are not pretending to come up to a final product, but there has to be a test, a pilot to be done somewhere, and a strategy and some actions that let us know that there is a strategy and a development and a deployment that is going to be done after the experiment.
We have an update on that question. In other words, can the technology receiver be the leading partner in this proposal?
The leading partner has to be an industrial partner. And let me answer another question regarding this. Here, we are considering industrial as the SMEs, as companies, as opposite of the academic partner, who is necessary an entity that is not going to make business out of the experiment. So that's why the academic partner can only be as a technology provider, because they are not going to make any business unless there is a university or another entity, public entity or whatever, that wants to make a business out of it, and then we would accept a spin-off of this university or this academic partner to become the technology receiver. In the other cases, the academic partner has to be the technology provider, because it's the only partner that is not going to make any business out of it. So the technology receiver and the technology, and the productizer can be and have to be industrial partners, but meaning by industrial, meaning SMEs or slightly bigger company. So the SMEs, of course, can be can play the 3 roles in a consortium, because they can also be a technology provider. What was the other part of the question?
I think you have covered all these things that were asked. So I will move to the next group of questions. It concerns the Central Southeastern Europe issues. 2 questions. Regarding evaluation, does it matter if the final product target market is Central Europe, Southeastern Europe, or does it matter that just the company, one of the companies is from this region? And another question is why Cyprus is not included in the list of Southeastern European countries?
Okay, for the first question, I would say that you are going to get 1 point, 1 extra point if one of the 3 partners is from one country belonging to the SEE region. Another thing is that the final product or the proposal, the experiment you are going to propose, is going to be deployed in Central Southern Europe. In fact, this is one of our objectives, that the deployment is done in those countries. But this is not mandatory. What we pretend is that, okay, the technology receiver, which is the early adopter of the technology, they can be from anywhere, provided they are from an eligible country. It means the European member states, EU member states, associated countries of the Horizon 2020. But then there is a scale up, and the scale up is going to be provided by the productization partner. This scale up can be in Southern Europe or in other countries. So we don't care about that. So, but at least one of the partners has to be in this region, Central Southern Europe. We call it SEE, as it is mentioned this way in a commonly used term. Regarding Cyprus, if you take a look at the countries that typically take part of this region, Southern Europe, it doesn't take part of it. So that's why we haven't included Cyprus as being in that region. So I don't have any other answer than that there is no, I would say, official denomination of the region, including Cyprus. That's it.
Thank you, Antonio.
Like Malta is not included as well. I mean, these islands are not included. Sorry.
Okay, so I think we can have one small group of questions then, and for the Cyprus, I know that it's geographically it's Asia Minor geographically, not administratively. So, but perhaps because it's in the EU, or something that's not very well defined what Southeastern Europe is and what they usually think and mean about Southeast Europe when you draw borders, and it changes from call to call, I guess. Another group of questions very quickly referring to the website of the funding box and the calls that are open. The first says on the web page funding box of SMART4ALL, it says that the open call will be open on March the 15th and it will be open until June the 15th. Is that right? Because in the presentation it was different. And the second question is there are two different calls opened at the website right now. So can you say something about that, and we will move then for the presentation.
I can answer that one. Yeah, so this current CTE call will close on the 15th of March. Then we have a second Cta call, which is the knowledge transfer experiment, and that's going to open on the 15th of March, and that will close on the 15th of March. So that's a different open call. So that's two at the moment, one about to close on the 15th of March and a new Cta call, which will open on the 15th.
And this webinar is specially dedicated to the ongoing call, the CTTE, that will end on March the 15th. So